Starting off with the main deck here, we have triple of the Exosister Martha. I mean, of course, we're going to be playing triple of her. We've built the deck around seeing her as much as possible. She is by far the best Exosister card in the main deck, and a hand without her is a hand that's significantly weaker. And I'd say when you see her in your hand, your chances of winning with this deck just go up exponentially. It's incredible how good she actually is. If you don't know what she does, well, she can special summon herself from your hand and also special summon an Exosister Elise from your deck. You have to control no monsters or only Xyz monsters when you activate this effect. And for the rest of, well, for the whole turn, you cannot special summon anything that is not a Exosister, which is a shame because if it was for the rest of the turn, you could do some cool stuff and then use Martha. But since it's for the whole turn, you have to use a normal summon engine, which I will be showing you, and it's not the spirit one. We've actually found a new normal summon engine that can give us a Exosister Xyz, and then we can search Martha and then use Martha. So we have, I think, about 15 ways of seeing Martha in our hand, either by hard opening her or 12 other ways. So we've really made the deck around her, and trying to resolve her is really important as well. We have triple of the Exosister Elise. Of course, we have triple Martha, so we play triple Elise. Elise on her own is very good anyway, as she can special summon herself from your hand to the field if you control any Exosister monster. Meaning that if you have a, for example, an Exosister Sophia or an Exosister Stella, use their effect. For example, in the Stella's case, a special one from hand, you can bait a Veiler or an Imperm. You can bait anything really, and then you can just special summon the Elise anyway. So it's a great sort of hand trap check in a way, because if they negate any of your Exosister monsters on the field, you can just special the Elise anyway from your hand. Speaking of the one-offs, one Sophia, one Stella. This is, I feel, is more than enough of the other Exosister names. Sophia draws you a card, Stella summons one from your hand. All the Exosisters share the effect that if your opponent moves a card from either graveyard, they can become Zodiacs and one card Xyz summon, which is fantastic. Martha is a bit better and also counts it if you move a card as well. So just keep that in mind. So they're actually pretty good. If they debarrier you, and then you sort of have two bodies on the field, they got to out those bodies before they commit to any of their plays. If not, you're going to get two Xyz summons during their turn. For the Rota, we have triple Exosister packs. Quick play, pay 8, feel great. Add any Exosister card, doesn't have to be a monster, from your deck to your hand. Then, if you added a monster, you can special summon it to the field if you have the Exosister monster mentioned on its text in the field or in the graveyard, as the Exosister monsters usually come in pairs, and they mention the other name in their card text. So fantastic. One of the continuous spell. I still play this because if you open Martha, you can search for the continuous spell and then just call Nib or call something that you lose to. Usually Nibiru I call, even if it's not played that much. If your opponent does have Nib, you get mega punished. So I just play it and call Nibiru, and I don't want to lose to it, so I just play it for that reason. We have one of the Returnia and one of the Vadis. We don't really need any more. Exosister is a deck that you're going to be able, you usually always have an OTK available, because if you survive with an Xyz on the field, next turn you're just popping off and you're going to kill them anyway. So that is why I play one of each trap. Highly searchable as well, either for your Xyz or for your packs. For our new normal summon engine, get ready for it. We have triple of the Electrode Beast Cation. Now, we're playing this card over Aratama, even though Aratama is the better card, because Aratama conflicts with Dominus Purge. Now, some builds, I recently saw a second place Exosister list in Japan, and it was playing Aratama and Dominus Purge. However, it was noted that when you use Dominus Purge, you cannot use Aratama, so it effectively becomes a dead card in your hand. The difference between this card is actually that it's a light, so even if you use Dominus Purge, you can still normal summon it, use its effect. You grab yourself your Electrode Beast Anion, and this will be able to normal summon itself again, make itself level 4, and Cation can copy its level. Now you have 2 level 4s, and you can commit to an Exosister Xyz without special summoning. So it's a mini spirit engine. However, it plays better with Dominus Purge. However, I still think Aratama is the better card compared to Cation, because it doesn't require you to play a hard brick that is the Anion. This needs to be able to add this card from the deck to gain that additional normal. However, there's some cool plays, for example, like if you normal the Anion and for whatever reason they disrupt it, you still have 2 bodies on the field, and you'd actually still be able to do the level manipulation thing. So that's actually pretty cool. And Anion is able to, if you don't even need to Xyz, Anion can send itself and Cation to the grave, and you can draw a card. And Cation can add this card from the graveyard as well. So future copies, if it's in the grave, you can pick it back up to your hand anyway, which is pretty nice. We also have one of the Sakitama. I still play Sakitama. I play it as a one of now because opening two is a bit annoying. I mean, you can normal summon one and then use the second to normal summon again. However, I just prefer just seeing the one copy. If I see it, I know I haven't got any other copies of Sakitama in my hand. And this is a lot of normal summon power to boost with our Exosisters to give us Xyz plays and access to Martha. So I'm really, really liking the Electrode Beast engine. If in further testing I feel that Cation isn't as good as Aratama, you can just put Aratama back in. However, there is that counter synergy with Dominus Purge that we do play. That is it for the monster Exosystem monsters and the normal summon engines. Let's move these to the side. Let's move on to the spells. Triple of the 7th Ascension. This card is very good, able to search us our 7th Tachyon, and 7th Tachyon's able to actually add us our Martha. So this basically acts as amazing consistency for the deck, and it can actually put a card back from my hand, which the Tachyon puts a card back from my hand, which could be our Electrode Beast Anion as well, just to make sure that Cation always has a target. So even if we open it and we open this, we are still okay for our normal summon engine. Here's 7th Tachyon, triple 7th Tachyon. This card hasn't come out yet, but when it does, not only will it be good in Raziel, it's good in every Xyz deck, especially Exosisters, acting as more copies of Martha, because Martha is the heart and soul of the deck. We now play 3 Martha, 3 Pax, 3 Anion, 3 Ascension, and 3 Tachyon. That is a lot of ways to have access to Martha. I believe it's 15, if I'm not mistaken. Now we have the hand traps. Triple of Dimension Shifter. This is, let's face it, one of the main pros of playing Exosister is that you can play Shifter, and this is, I think, how that Exosister deck in Japan had such success, because they're able to just main deck Shifter, and that's really good against most decks, to be honest with you, apart from Malice. But Malice is a different beast on its own. I don't think we have a very good matchup into Malice, considering that if we banish the cards that get effects, and Exosister's main disruptions are banishes anyway, so we'd have to sort of change our matchup for that anyway. Change our cards, our side deck cards, put them in to try and have a better matchup. Triple Ash. Ash is still very good. I'm showing Morna. This is full loss. I just don't have access to full loss at the moment. So until I have full loss, I'm going to be playing Morna. Don't play Vela, because Vela, again, it doesn't do well with the Shifter. And I just think Full Loss is the card that you really want to be playing, to be honest with you. I also play Triple Imperm. Doesn't conflict with Shifter, doesn't conflict with Dominus Purge. And we also have triple of the Dominus Purge, which I'm going to be proxying for you on the screen now. So Dominus Purge, again, is a very good card. It does have counter synergy with the Shifter, but the Shifter is always a draw phase thing anyway, so you'll always Shifter them before you can Dominus Purge. And again, Ash, you'll always use first, because whenever you can Purge, you can also Ash. So use the Ash first, and then you are okay to Purge. And if you set the Purge, you're not restricted from any attributes anyway, so just keep that in mind. Purge actually does play very well with all the hand traps shown. So that is the main deck. It is 15 hand traps. We have 15 starters and about 10 flex spots, so just keep that in mind. Now let's move on into the extra deck. Starting off with the extra deck, let's get the links out the way. SP, Artemis. Artemis can be used with any Exosister. You just turn them into Artemis, and then you can turn them into an SP Little Knight. Just keep in mind that if you have Dominus Purged, SP Little Knight is going to do pretty much nothing, but this is in case we really need removal, or if we've been debarried and we want to end on something, we can still end on the SP Little Knight. For the Xyz monsters, we have double of the Exosister Magnifica. This is our main boss monster, and we're going to be ending on this 9 times out of 10. It's actually very good, but very susceptible to removal, so be careful with that. A Kaiju or a Regeki or Dark Hole can really mess up your Magnifica. So if you are going to go for the Magnifica setup, you actually do need to have like a Vadis set in the back row as well, just so you have a way to attempt to play after they remove your Magnifica. But if they can't remove the Magnifica, you have a quick effect banish and a quick effect tag out, which translates either into a Abyss Dweller-esque effect or another banish, which is fantastic. We have triple of the Exosister Michaelis. You play 3 because this is really the one you're going to be making the most. Not only is it a spell and trap search, but also is a quick effect banish the turn it is summoned. Also cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster summoned from the graveyard, which also comes up, occasionally as well. So really amazing card. Double Caspatel. This is the one you're gonna make the second most. It's really nice. Again, can't be destroyed by battle, monsters from the graveyard, and is your monster rotor. Also, when it is summoned, neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard for the rest of the turn. Continuing on with the Exosisters, we have the one Exosister Jabreen. This is more of our OTK enabler, and is also actually able to, on a quick effect, be able to negate a monster effect, which is actually pretty clutch. It's like an infinite impermanence. We have one of the Exosister Sophiel. This is more of our Abyss Dweller of the archetype. On summon, just able to use the effect that neither player can activate card effects in the graveyard this turn. And not on a quick effect this time, you can detach one material from this card, target one monster your opponent controls, and return it to the hand. Which actually comes up as well, and it's actually pretty nice. So a way to get around destruction effects, like with Yubel, for example. We have the Typhon, because this is an Xyz deck, and sometimes we make it. Of course, we play the Zeus as well. As I said, it's an Xyz deck, and why wouldn't we play the Zeus? Just able to put it on if we're not Martha locked and get some quick effect sends. One Baguska or Plan B. Sometimes we get hand trapped so much that all we can do is end on a Baguska in defense, and if they're not playing a Link deck, that is still very, very good. And our 7th Tachyon target, we have our number 104 Masquerade. There's also a different number that is much more budget. However, I just showed the Masquerade because it's the one I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Exosister deck profile. I always do try to innovate the deck as much as I can. What do you guys think about the Electrode engine? Do you think it's worth sort of getting rid of the Aratama just because it has counter synergy with Dominus Purge? Or do you still think it's worth playing Dominus Purge over the Cation engine? Do let me know in the comments. I'm Rogue here, and I'll see you all in the next video.